Thank you for listening and welcome to the Life Radio Show, a once proud member of the now defunct Eventide Entertainment Podcast Network. I'm your host, Don Smith. Nurse Susie Williams is our guest co-host. We talk with the filmmaking team behind the Tim and Brian Show. Tim Lee, Brian Koo, Kayla Lee, and Matt Liparulo. If you enjoy the show, like and follow the Life 1069 on Facebook and Don Smith Comedy on Twitter, or tune in live on Tuesdays from 7 to 9 p.m. on WWSU 106.9 FM, or you can stream the show live at wwsu1069.org.
The brutal presence overwhelms me. The brutal presence overwhelms me.
All right, so let's, hey, welcome. We'll just go ahead and dive right into it. Welcome to the Life Radio Show. I'm your host, Don Smith. I'm sitting in with my guest co-host for the week, Nurse Susie, still in with us. Susie Williams, how's it going?
It's good.
It's your second time doing a show?
Second time.
Second time ever on a show?
Ever.
All right, good. I like breaking them in. We'll do this right. I have a plethora of filmmakers on the phone with me right now. Just a plethora. Can we get a sound off? I want to see if everybody does it at once. That way nobody knows who anybody is.
Hey, everybody.
Hey.
All right. I know we have Tim Lee on here, Timothy Lee, and Brian Koo. The rest of you I'm not familiar with.
I'm Kayla, and I wrote and directed Tim and Brian.
Oh, okay.
And I'm Matt. I'm the cinematographer, and I also play the camera guy when we need that.
Okay, cool. All right. Yeah, I think I watched the pilot episode, and that's I can't remember if the camera guy, other than talking to him, I can't remember if the camera guy was in.
Yeah, you don't ever see me, but it's that connection that there is a camera guy in the room to host the interviews and stuff like that, kind of record what's happening to Tim and Brian.
Right. So
kind of breaking that fourth wall in a way.
Yeah. Every now and then you have to. That's fun, breaking the fourth wall. So Kayla wrote and directed. As the writer, what was your inspiration for the Tim and Brian show? Tim
and Brian.
That makes perfect sense.
Because I'm Tim's wife, so me and Tim have been married for like 8 years.
Oh, okay.
And so, and Brian is our roommate. So their personalities are so different, and thank God in real life they get along great. But I always think in my head how maybe possibly those personalities wouldn't always get along so great. And so that's where the show came from.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about the show as far as the, which I've seen the pilot. I've seen the pilot, so I know a little bit about it, but for listeners who haven't seen it yet.
So two cousins inherit their uncle's house after he passes away. And so they cannot sell the house unless they both agree to selling it. So they can't change anything about the will unless they both agree. So them having conflicting personalities, they can never agree. And so they're trying to live under one roof and make the best of their situation, but they're also getting on each other's nerves.
And smoking a lot of weed, from what I saw.
And smoking a lot of weed.
I totally wanted to live in that house.
Right.
When I watched it, I was like, okay, I would totally love to move in and help them come to a decision.
Yeah.
Right.
You're just in it for the weed. Now,
I'm just in it for the weed.
Now, was this filmed in a recreationally legal state? So you did
in Colorado.
Okay, so
right.
did you film with the real thing? Is the
It's like, can't you tell?
Well, I couldn't smell it on the.
There's no oxygen on set, just THC.
What's that? No oxygen on set. Yeah. Good. Well, it's inspirational.
So, well, I mean, we are in Colorado, and so that's one of of things we want to be different about is just to kind of lead that way that, hey, it should be just like wine on set or anything else on set. You know what
exactly.
I mean? It's not some horrible, terrible thing.
It's slowly becoming the norm.
Right.
Now, I guess kind of like drinking beer on set, which I've been on set where I've had to drink beer, and I had to switch to water to a certain point because otherwise, doing several takes, I was going to be trashed by the end of it. So, did you run into that with doing several takes where you had to just keep smoking, and it just got to the point where you couldn't function anymore? I know I would. I'd get to a point it's like I don't want to do this.
There are times we got to take a few extra takes in order to, I start to forget the lines, or I start to have the giggles, or,
The biggest thing.
Eventually, I end up nailing it. I mean, there's a couple scenes you'll watch where our eyes are definitely a giveaway that we're pretty lit.
Right. I totally noticed that. It looked like a fun environment, definitely.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what we want it to be fun. That's why you do it. And so the whole thing takes place the majority of the time at our house. So if we do get to a point where we're like, okay, let's take a break, then we just hang out and take a break. There's no time crunch on it because we're not renting out the space. You know what I mean?
Right.
So we don't have to have these 10 scenes done today. Like, if we don't finish them today, we'll just come back and finish them tomorrow.
So how long have you been directing and writing, just in general? Or is this your first venture into it?
Your second.
Yeah, I've been writing for a long time. As far as actually directing, this is my first thing that I'm directing.
Okay, and as far as the actors, how experienced?
Tim, do you want to go first?
No, you go ahead.
Okay. I've been acting for about 3 years now, but all my life I've been pretty much making videos and whatnot. And it's always been a passion of mine.
That's good.
Yeah, that's awesome.
As for me, this would probably be my first time acting. Honestly, I've never really acted before. I started film school about 2 years ago, so but I realized, I've always been on the other side of the camera and kind of wanted to try out what it would be like to be on, in front of the camera for once.
Right.
Yeah, it's a different world in front of it than behind it.
So I just want to put this out there that I'm willing to be an extra in any of the other movies.
Yeah, we'll work for me.
I will work for me. I will come stay in your house.
It's awesome that you say that. Because, me and Brian and Matt and Kayla sat around and I said, it would be awesome that people watch this and want to come join us.
Absolutely.
If they want to come hang out and smoke with us, we're doing our job.
I'm totally in.
Yeah. Well, you have one extra there. I'd do it too. Why not? See, I just wondered what do you do in your downtime? Do you smoke more weed, or you just have to save that for the filming now?
Oh, we always smoke.
Okay,
they say it's supposed to make you dumb, but I found it to give me a 3.9 GPA throughout school. So
nice.
Honestly, we do smoke. Don't get us wrong, but
that would be the indica strain.
We have our own responsibilities we take care of as well.
Yeah.
Right.
So, I'm a stand-up comedian from time to time, and I had one bit that I did for a 420 show, which is actually true. I started when I was 6 years old. I had a brother that was 13 and starting to experiment with drugs, and he actually would get his 6-year-old brother high. So that was my first venture into it, and all through elementary school, I would wake and bake with my brother and go into school, and I was a straight A student on the honor roll every single time, and my grades started to drop in junior high when I stopped smoking weed. So that's the joke I did on set, is imagine what I could have been if I had never stopped smoking weed. So, the sky is the limit at that point. Yeah.
You did it backwards.
Yeah. So where was I going, Susie? I don't remember where I was going with that.
I have no idea.
That's all right. And
sorry.
And I'm not even smoking anything right now. That's okay. So is what do you want from the show? Are you wanting to what exactly are you trying to put out there? Is there a message behind it, or is it just for fun? Got quiet. They all hung up.
I think the message behind it would be like, you got to do both. You got to be passionate about it, but you got to have fun too. Like, right. I feel like everyone does a better job when everybody feels good. Like when people are fed, when they're happy, when everybody's cracking jokes, when people are laughing. I feel like people just do better because they want to see it do well.
Right. Now this
I think
is
speaking for I think speaking for me, by the way, it's like we've been on a lot of sets from time to time that's been very stressful or intensely high stress for no reason, or people are screaming at each other, disagreements, and being involved in a lot of those, we were like, I want a set that where we're just comfortable being ourselves, having fun with it, because that was the main point of getting into filmmaking in the first place, because it was supposed to be fun, and that's one thing we really wanted to experience in our set, was like, let's have fun with this. Let's find people who want to, that want to come on set and have fun with us too. And we've opened that dynamic up in our show, because in our show we have like the airbed and bud going on. So constantly there's a guest that's going to be coming onto our show. And, it's going to be, I feel like that, it changes the cool dynamic to get to enjoy this kind of fun with other people.
Right. Yeah, I've been on a number of sets where, because especially independent film and that kind of thing, most of the time you're not getting paid for it. So if you're not having fun with it, why are you doing it?
Exactly. Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Yes, I started out in local theater, and of course, community theater was you don't get paid. And I had the first production I was in, I had a stage manager that was really uptight. And I finally explained to her, it's like, well, I'm doing this because it's fun. I said, you know what I do when it stops getting fun? I leave.
Yeah.
But I have been on some of those very uncomfortable sets where it's just everybody's uptight, and it's just not fun at that point. So I'd love to come be a guest at your airbed and bud.
But I asked first. Remember that.
Right.
I'm first.
We'll go together.
Yes.
Yep. Who was in the background there?
Do I have?
Oh, okay. Yeah. This is going to be an interesting interview, isn't it? Where'd we go? We got lost in the dog barking.
What's fun about this is we've been actually working on this pilot episode for 5 or 6 months now, because we've been going at our own pace, and we've been trying different things, and sometimes we've had to wait for the right time for a scene, and even on the days where we didn't get much done, it was just fun to pretty much hang out and be together and talk about film and new ideas or new equipment or whatever, even if we're not shooting that scene or anything like that. So, even though it's taken 6 months just to do one episode, we've had a lot of fun doing it, and we've learned a lot too.
So you guys are basically like a family.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, now the pilot episode that's available on YouTube right now, isn't it? Or
not public?
No, not yet.
Not public. Okay.
Yeah, it's not public yet. It comes out on Tuesday on a channel under Roku and Fire TV called Resilient Media Group. Yeah, on Tuesday. Right? It's on Tuesday. It's supposed to be released.
Okay. All right, I'm writing that down. That way I have to have that in my notes for the show. My show notes are going right here. And then it gets quiet when my show notes are going. I've noticed that when I start to write things down, everybody else is quiet too. So.
It was originally supposed to be like a YouTube release. Like, we had no expectations to go like onto Roku or Fire TV with anything. It actually came kind of as a shock to us. We were working hard for a Christmas release on YouTube, and we got a ding in our messenger box. It was like this company called Resilient Media Group, and they were like, "Hey, have you guys ever thought about distribution?" And for us, we've never talked about distribution. Like, this was something that was going to be like a YouTube original. But in talking to them, this happened so much faster than we had ever planned. So at least for us, we feel like, even though we may not be like, the best filmmakers out there, at least we're taking, the steps that's going towards our dreams and in the right direction.
Right. And getting distribution in general is a huge step that, that to me is as important as, you have a lot of really well-made artsy movies out there that never get distribution and nobody sees them. And that's
right, definitely.
I'd rather have something that's actually out there.
Yes, yeah, me too.
Definitely.
Yes, definitely.
It's really crazy because we actually got distribution from the blooper trailer that we released.
Nice. Yeah. Just do the whole series of bloopers. That's that would be a show that's nothing but the bloopers. That would be.
Those are the best parts.
Yeah. Sometime.
I think we're gonna do this for probably every episode.
Some
bloopers, to get the.
Yeah, those are definitely a lot of fun. I love the gag reels in movies I've been in.
Me too.
And we have hours of them.
Yeah. I would imagine so. I would imagine that is a wild set to be on for the most part.
It's super fun.
Yeah. So how did you guys all meet initially? Was this?
Well, she's married.
I know
to,
she's married, but
roommates.
how did? Okay, but they didn't develop that way. It didn't begin that way.
Yeah. With Matt and I and Kayla, well, Matt goes to the same LA Film School online that we do, and he's actually an upperclassman of us. You're about to graduate next month, right?
This is my last month.
Hey, he's about to graduate next month. And he actually put out a post that was like, "Hey, anybody in the area that that could help me out on my student project?" I was like, "Where is he from? Colorado? Oh, heck yeah, I'll help you out, brother." I didn't know anybody else from school was here. And that's how me and him started. What was the project?
Short film.
It was a short. It was for like it was one of the first things we ever did together.
Oh yeah. A guy loses his dog in the woods and has to go chase him down. It was real simple, real short, but it actually made some lasting relationships.
That's good. That's
definitely.
Good. And got you involved in other things.
I think y'all would get a good laugh out of this. But when I first met Matt, I was like, "Man, I hope it's cool, but I smoke a lot of weed, bro." Matt's a non-smoker of weed, so I had to establish that from the beginning, and he's been cool with it since the beginning, and all the sets as being a non-smoker. But he has nothing against it or anything; just doesn't smoke with us. And for Brian, you want to tell them how we met?
Yeah. Well, I actually met Tim on another movie set, and we basically connected on the set, and then after that we became pretty much brothers, and he took me and my fiance in because we were about to have a baby, and he's now 5 months old now, but we basically bonded over our love for film and weed, and we found out that we both smoke, and we were dying to smoke all day on that movie set, and then finally we were able to smoke at the end of the day. And pretty much from then on, we became brothers for life, and we're always working on projects together, and we always have a lot of fun together, our whole crew together.
That's good. That's good. Eventually, they're probably going to influence Matt. He's going. Are you guys working on him, trying to get that angle in there?
Stay strong.
Well, there was we were filming another kind of passion project early in the summer, and I was supposed to act in that, which I don't have a lot of experience. And so I used to smoke, but I just don't anymore. I want to take a nap every time I smoke, so I'm not very functional. So I asked if we could get like the
CBD flower.
Yeah, so I could still look like I'm hitting a bong for the show and try to deliver my lines, and even on that, even though you're not supposed to get very high on CBD, by the seventh take, I couldn't remember. On the couch. So, yeah, we tried to get me to participate, but I'm just not functional. It just doesn't work for me.
Like, when I went to the dispensary, I was like, is there any weed that doesn't get you high? And they were like, we have this CBD strain. It's like real low THC percentage, high percentage in CBD. I'm like, yeah, that one. He was still way ripped. Like,
right. Yeah, I think most CBD is 0.003%, like that you could find of THC and a gram of CBD. So it's very
that's
low.
What they were saying. It was low,
and it still did a number on him.
Nice. He's just sensitive.
Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah.
Well, we did a lot of tape.
It could have been. I don't know the science behind it. Maybe it's like all the resin from the bong already. And
that's probably that's what it is. That's
so
your eyes were bloodshot red.
it was the bong resin from every. Somebody slipped something else in there. It's like just tell him it's not real. Just tell him it's the CBD.
I'm guilty of that.
Yeah, I knew somebody was going to get him. See, I like to take a nap every time I think about smoking weed. And I'm tired right now. No,
I am always trying to get him to smoke weed, but
every now and then, just not. Yeah. I have so much to do. I don't have time to shut down.
That's why I do it. Is because I have so much to do.
That's why you're late a lot of times. No.
That's true.
Yeah, but I told her to be here.
Like Kayla on our end, so.
Yeah, I'm late by default. It's
my first guest was calling in around noon from Atlanta in the Eastern time, so I told her to be here at the to record at 11:20, and you got here at what 11:58.
Well, what happens is I get busy.
Yep, you have so much to do. I gotta smoke.
Blame me on the traffic.
Yeah, there you go. There
I've
you go.
never heard no shit like this before, but like Kayla, she found like the dream job for people who, you know what I mean? Like she has like a 2-hour window to go to work. So it's like
that's beautiful.
I don't have a 2-hour window. It's more of a work at your own pace type thing. So, but like when I get to work, y'all, I'm so super productive. I'm like, let's go, let's do this.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's just getting there.
It's just once I get there, once I get the motor started, I'm like, full throttle.
You know, I've never been a morning person, ever. I've struggled my whole life because in school, like in high school, that starts super early. So I really struggled for like 4 years of my life with trying to just wake up on time to get somewhere.
Yeah, that's. I think that's unfair to do to kids to start them out that early. We should just change the whole schedule of the workday.
Right.
For the potheads. I'm going to move to Colorado and just work whenever I want.
No, I'm an early riser. I'm a morning person. No way.
Oh, okay.
I am because I have to be.
I go to sleep early. I wake up early.
If I didn't have to work in the mornings, I'd go to bed at like 2 a.m. and wake up at like noon. That's But I can't do that. I can't do that. I'm so used to getting up early now. If I go to bed at 2 a.m, I'm still up at 5, and it's not fair.
Right. That's how me and Kayla are like super opposites. Like I wake up super early as well, and she doesn't.
Yeah.
Like we met in the Army. You know what I mean? She hated to get up. I'm already right. You know what I mean? Like
your boots are shined. You're ready to go.
Ready, already showered, already shaved. You know, she's still in bed. Like, are you gonna go to work?
You didn't understand it though. Like I became a professional. I am a professional at making it from out of my bed to the front door in 15 minutes. Like
that's impressive.
That is impressive.
I know where my stuff. Like if I can find all my stuff, then it's 15 minutes. But I've been getting really good about it. So I just roll out of bed. I put on my clothes. Grab my keys, grab my wallet, do like a little check thing, throw my hair up in a bun, and I'm good to go.
Yes.
Nice. See, I work a job where nobody actually knows. I work independent, and nobody actually knows when I show up to my first spot, so I don't really care.
Right. But that's the dream, is to work for yourself, you know, because then you can set your own hours and be productive when you know what I mean, when you need to be.
Yeah, I think I leave the house later and later every day. Eventually I'm going to get in trouble for that, but oh well. And especially if my boss is listening to this show. I'm just kidding. I made all that up. I've never even heard of marijuana. What is it? Because I wouldn't do that. That's not legal in Ohio.
At the end of the show, this is for comedy purposes.
Exactly. Yes.
This is entertainment, not talk, not speeches.
Right. No weed was smoked in the production of this podcast.
I can't promise that.
Yeah, I don't. I think I lied. Well, I know I lied. Susie's here. I feel like me and Matt are the odd ones out here, I
think. Stay strong, Matt.
Yeah. Yep. Later tonight, I'll probably fall. All right, I think we're going to go ahead and have to take a quick break, and we will be back, and we'll hit some news stories. I think these are the kind of folks I might circle back around to the asparagus lady.
Okay.
I think this group would get a kick out of her.
I agree. Yes.
So I'll have to hit that one again. We'll double tap it.
You guys will really like the news stories.
All right, we're going to go ahead. We're going to go ahead and take a break. Play a little music, which I mean, this is all pre-recorded, so I'm making this up. We're not really going to do that here. I'll edit everything together later. Did I just ruin the magic for you? All right.
I'm like, sweet music.
I know. I'm like, he didn't play music last time.
I'm full of crap. I'll edit it in later. When you listen later on after this episode's out, they'll be like, hey, there is music there. I didn't hear it when we were recording. That's so weird.
It's like, now I hear it.
Yeah. It's like, where was this? All right, we'll be back in a few minutes. Don't go anywhere.
It's too high, and I should just drive right by.
right. Hey, welcome back to the Life Radio Show. I'm your host, Don Smith, sitting in the, we're not in the studio today. We're actually in Wiley's Comedy Club showroom. Because where else are we going to record this silliness? Sitting in with my guest co-host for the week, Nurse Susie, still along for the ride. And we are talking to Tim, Brian, Kayla, and Matt.
Yes, you got it.
Is that everybody? Did I miss anybody? Yeah. And the kids and the dog barking in the background and something else. I don't know. Been a lot of noise going on. And it's we've been talking about the Tim and Brian show, which is going to be available, you say, March 5th, right? On a couple of different spots.
January 14th.
March 5th was the E-listers. 14th. That's right, yeah. I'd lost it. See, I'm not even smoking anything. That's what's crazy. January 14th. I didn't write that one down. The March 5th was the previous interview. So, okay, we'll figure this out eventually. No, we won't. It's this show's a train wreck, always is. That's what I live for. It's just all right, and since I already mentioned it, we're going to go ahead and we're going to start off with the wonderful asparagus lady. Let me see if I can find it. All right, here it is. It was written in the Spears. The royal family news that shocked the world on Wednesday apparently did not come as a surprise to one woman in England. Self-proclaimed fortune teller Jemima Packington is claiming she predicted Harry and Meghan Markle would step back from the royal family after reading some asparagus spears. Packington, 64, reportedly the world's only asparamancer, says she is able to see the future by throwing asparagus into the air and then observing how the spears land on the ground. When I cast the asparagus, it creates patterns, and it's the patterns I interpret, the vegetable reader said, explaining she inherited the ability from her aunt, who read tea leaves and has been predicting the future since she was 8 years old.
Oh, my God. Wow. But, you know,
I'd like to meet this woman.
Such a silly, silly thing. It has such a cool name, Asparamancer.
Mm. Like, what kind of weed is she smoking?
I think she just starts. I think she smokes asparagus. She just starts right off. She probably smells a little funny.
Weed, like, a weedamancer.
Weedamancer. There you go.
I'll definitely have to be in some
It's the marijuana Dalai Lama. I think that's an episode title right there.
Yeah, write that one down.
Half of the point of this show is just to come up with an episode title.
Yeah.
All right. All right. See, I still think that she was just, when she was 8 years old and started reading asparagus spears, is just because she didn't want to eat her vegetables, so she threw them in the air, and then had to come up with a story for her parents of why she did that.
Right, yeah.
And she just happened to be right about whatever story she made up. Like, I think...
Oh, man.
A Kentucky woman gave her probation officer a dog urine sample during a drug screening, police said. Julie Miller, 40, of RJ, was arrested Monday on a charge of tampering with physical evidence, the Pineville Police Department said in a release on its Facebook page. And I love how they release this stuff on Facebook. That is so great that's what the cops are using now. She also was charged with parole violation and trafficking in a controlled substance. I'm assuming that's not the dog pee, but, I don't know. Miller admitted she tried to use dog urine as her own sample given to officers at the Bell County Probation and Parole Office during a regular probation visit, the statement said. Miller pleaded guilty in Bell County Circuit Court in November to a charge of first-degree possession of a controlled substance.
So dog urine.
Dog urine, yes.
I want to know. I know we're all thinking this. How did she get it?
From a dog.
Right, but, I mean, they don't pee on command in a cup.
Squeeze them.
I have...
there's one way. Like, we have like this potty pad for our puppy, and
yeah,
it's like,
I use them
really
for my dog. Yeah,
like it's like it funnels the pee down into this like container, and then you could take the container out. So maybe that. There is a possibility.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like, I've never tried to pass a piss test with that. Okay. I wouldn't recommend it.
My thing is like we have Google.
Yep, I would think of all the fake urine out there that you can get to pass these tests.
Yeah.
Why would you bother your dog with this? She was clearly high when she thought of that.
Or you could have made it like creative for them, because they'll have you do the piss test, and then it's well, sorry, this is dog urine. Try again, Susie. So then I come back and it's like, this is a wombat urine, Susie. Like, just like keep on coming with different animals.
How do they tell though? Is there just an immediate test? Because it's like.
In my profession, I know that there are proteins that are tested to make sure that it is really urine. And there's also like skin cells that are tested as well. So I don't know, maybe, the cells, the skin cell part.
I think they caught her holding the dog.
There's skin cells in there.
Yeah.
I think they just caught her holding those. She brought the dog in. And had I don't think it's Kentucky. She was not thinking clearly.
Yeah, that's true.
Now, it would have been real sad if the dog urine tested positive.
Right. It probably did. That's how they caught her, because the tested positive. And she's like, that damn dog, and that's how they got her.
It was probably a drug sniffing dog.
Right, there you go. Yeah, and they would test positive.
Yes, he would.
Because you get them high. That's how you train them. The life of a drug dog. Colorado man. Here we go. We're in Colorado now. A Colorado man who tried to steal multiple vehicles in recent weeks, but was caught in the act each time, confessed he just isn't good at stealing cars. I think we figured that out. Todd Sheldon, 36, was caught trying to break into a car in Jefferson County earlier this month, but was caught by the homeowner, officials said. Just before deputies arrived on the scene, Sheldon escaped. Moments later, however, authorities found Sheldon just down the street trying to break into another vehicle. The sheriff's officer wrote on Facebook again on Friday, as deputies approached the man who they say was actively trying to break into the truck, he made a shocking admission to them. I can't. Sheldon apparently told the officers, I'm trying to steal this truck.
We all make goals for ourselves.
Yes.
So.
Well, this is one of those stories where you can say, yes, recreational weed is definitely legal in Colorado. I can't, officer. I'm trying to steal this truck, and can you help me? How do you hotwire this thing? I can't do this.
And the casual, like how he's doing it so casually, like that. It's like a recreation. I'm trying to ride my bike, officer, but I just keep falling off.
Right.
Right. Any pointers on stealing this truck? This is tough, man.
For once in my life, I just want to fucking steal a car.
I'm going to have to keep bleeping you, Susie.
Uh-oh.
I might. This might just be a non-radio release. This might be released as an adult version of the radio show. I'm kidding. There's nothing adult about this show. We're talking about dog pee and a guy that can't steal a truck. That's
right.
Let's see. Spoon bending. There we go. Spoon-bending celebrity psychic Uri Geller, 73 years old, has applied for a job in the British government in response to an advert for, quote, misfits and weirdos, saying no other candidate would possess his powers. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson's most senior advisor, Dominic Cummings, advertised government jobs for, quote, assorted weirdos in a recent blog post complaining that the civil service did not have enough genuine cognitive diversity. In a cover letter beginning Dear Dom, Geller said that his career as an entertainer has been a perfect mask for work in espionage. While many have doubted my abilities, my achievements cannot be dismissed as trickery or illusions, said the Israeli who became famous in the 1970s for performing telekinetic feats on television, such as bending spoons without touching them. That's that.
Bending spoons without touching them.
Yeah, you don't remember Uri Geller?
I
Geller?
do.
Uri Geller? Yeah.
Yeah.
Now he wants to be part of the British Secret Service.
Yeah, well, I mean, he is magical. So.
Right, yeah, he is.
What kind of drug are these people on?
It's hard to say with
called,
him.
It's called crazy.
Bend on my spoon?
Yeah.
Did you take the blue pill or the red pill?
Yep, somebody ought to test his dog for drugs. So, I think they're developing like some X-Men stuff over there. That's what this whole thing's about. They're weirdos, assorted weirdos for the British defense.
No, I don't think so. It's
really?
Gotta be much more than that.
Yeah, really? Like what? What is more than X-Men as far as British intelligence?
That's true. I don't know, but I don't
Who
feel
knows
it's
what
that.
Elon Musk is going
I
to
know.
do, though, man.
I've got so many things to list. I mean,
Yeah.
there's so
What
many
was that?
Right. I said, you never know what Elon Musk is going to do, like, in terms of X-Men.
That's
I
true.
feel
That's
like
true. Yeah, when you first started talking over, I thought I heard mushrooms. So, a 41-year-old British man who attempted to dislodge a piece of popcorn stuck in his teeth using various objects claims he later developed a life-threatening infection that required him to undergo open-heart surgery. Yeah, Adam Martin, a firefighter and father of 3 in Cornwall, England, said he noticed a piece of popcorn stuck in his back tooth after he and his wife watched a movie in September. For 3 days, he was unable to remove the popcorn. He claims he used multiple objects, a pen lid, a toothpick, a piece of wire, and even a metal nail to remove the food, but was unsuccessful and even damaged his surrounding gum when doing so. That's a serious piece of popcorn right there. A week later, Martin began to suffer from night sweats, fatigue, headaches, all of which he initially thought were signs of the flu, but would later learn they were signs of endocarditis, or an infection of the endocarditis. That's too technical for this show. The lining of the interior surface of the chambers of the heart, according to Healthline. The infection occurs when bacteria from the mouth, skin, intestines, and other areas of the body enter the bloodstream.
Yes, that's why it's very important to take care of your teeth.
Right.
Your
Watch
mouth
what you're doing to dig
is
popcorn
huge
out.
for heart, protection.
That
from
sounds
heart
like a
disease.
meth addict.
Yeah.
Put on your chest.
Are they sure it was popcorn?
Yeah. Yeah, that's where it always starts, with popcorn.
Yeah.
Next thing you know,
It does. And the butter and...
A New Jersey woman rescued from a clothing donation bin on Monday claims she was trapped inside for nearly 3 days, authorities said. The unnamed 38-year-old, I wonder if she was unnamed or they just didn't know who she was. Did she ever have at some point, somebody knew who she was.
Because it was me. No, I'm
right.
kidding.
I knew it. What were you doing high in New Jersey in a donation bin? Somebody dropping you off for the tax write-off? The unnamed 38-year-old said she was reaching into the bin behind an apartment building in Patterson on Friday night when someone pushed her, causing her to tumble inside. But Patterson police detective Jerry Spetziel, told the told the Daily Voice that the woman's story of how she fell inside may be unlikely. The rescue marked the third time in 2 years that the apparently homeless woman needed to be saved from inside a clothing donation box. The third time.
So we got some weird guy out there.
Yeah, that's going around
pacing around waiting.
following the same woman. Every time he follows the same woman. I know she's going to that Goodwill box. She's going in again. That guy has a major personal vendetta against her. All she is some poor homeless woman trying to get some clothes for the winter, and he keeps pushing her inside.
Right.
Yep, it doesn't sound like her story's all that believable.
No, I think she's diving in herself.
Yeah.
I think she was looking for something else other than clothes.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. Where are we next? We got a guy getting fired over barbecue sauce. That's always fun.
What?
Barbecue sauce is usually for grilling, but a Canadian man's saucy tweet complaining about his employer's holiday gift of the condiment may have gotten him fired. Hussein Mehadadli, or something like that, of the British Columbia town of Burnaby, had worked for 6 years as a general manager for Fastenal, a U.S.-based wholesaler of construction materials that operates across Canada. But he was fired last month after grumbling on Twitter about his company's annual holiday gift, a bottle of barbecue sauce that sells on Amazon for $5.99 and a wooden grill scraper with the Fastenal logo. It does seem kind of cheap, and you can't complain about it. They'll fire you. That's
I mean, that's like, here, give yourself the present. Here's the barbecue sauce and the scrubby pad. Now go get yourself a barbecue.
Right. Enjoy dinner somewhat on us.
Yeah.
Just the barbecue sauce.
Right.
Just
Yeah, Merry Christmas. Yeah.
I don't know. I'd be happy with that. Even.
Yeah, it might have been really good barbecue sauce. Totally worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, not worth getting fired over, but if you can buy it on Amazon for $5.99, it's probably not that great.
Well,
It's
it
like-
could be some
Yeah.
of the best, you know.
That's true. It
Homemade.
could. Yeah.
No
Can
belief.
you sell homemade barbecue sauce over Amazon or
I would try, but I don't know.
you wouldn't try or you would?
I would.
Why not? Why
Yeah,
not?
why not?
Okay, yeah. Let me know how that works.
Children, barbecue
let us
sauce.
know.
You can sell children over
I don't. I
okay.
mean, you know, yeah, just the list can
I'll
go
buy
on.
a bottle.
Yeah, you would.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah,
Locally,
All right. Well,
locally sourced.
there's your first barbecue sauce
Dayton,
sale.
Ohio.
Congratulations.
right?
Yeah, I
You
will.
might make a fortune when it turns into a company Christmas gift. for the
Right,
employees.
exactly.
That could be
Yeah.
the brand company Christmas gift.
Yeah, Fastenal brand
can
I
barbecue
was thinking
sauce.
about just
Barbecue
calling
sauce.
it saucy.
Saucy.
Them brine barbecue sauce.
Yeah,
You gotta
saucy.
say it right. Saucy.
Yeah, that's what I want to name it. Saucy.
Have some sauce. Have some saucy sauce. A Washington state highway was closed in both directions Tuesday night after several cars became trapped in tumbleweeds. Yak Tri News. Yeah, Yak Tri News. That's a weird news
Wait.
agency right there. Yak Tri News reported that the Washington State Patrol announced via Twitter at about 6:30 p.m. that drivers on State Route 240 near West Richland should be aware of the tumbleweeds. True. Just should be aware of them. Yeah. Trooper Sarah Clayson told KAPP-KVEU that vehicles were trapped in a pile of tumbleweeds that stood up to 15 feet tall. The State Department of Transportation used snowplows to clear the scene. Trooper Chris Thorson said it took about 10 hours to clear the road. It opened again around 4:30 a.m. Wednesday. Thorson says 5
Like someone
cars.
getting some extra hours.
Exactly,
Yeah.
yeah. Thorson says 5 cars and one 18-wheel semi-truck were trapped in the tumbleweeds. No injuries were reported.
Holy moly.
That's a lot of tumbleweeds to
That is
trap
a
an
lot.
18-wheeler.
That scares me.
Yeah, people were stuck
Yeah.
at midnight and rung in the new year trapped under tumbleweeds.
But can you read those call letters again?
Which one was it?
Fast.
KAPPKVEU.
Yeah.
Capcaview.
Yeah.
We'll just, yeah.
I was like, what'd you
I don't want
say?
to do that with
Say
that
again?
Subaru. You know? You don't want to read them out like that with the Subaru.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Since I mentioned it, we'll go ahead. We'll go ahead and let.
Oh
guys
yeah,
know
this
again.
is my favorite.
Yeah, this is a great one. I want this in my auto collection. Where are we? A new edition of the Subaru Forester on display at the 2020 Singapore Motor Show came with a rather eye-catching nickname. The Forester Ultimate Customized Kit Special Edition, or as people online were quick to note, the Subaru FUCKS Edition. Subaru told Business Insider that the car was from an independent distributor rather than the car maker itself. However, Top Gear Philippines noted that the vehicle was inside the Subaru booth, sharing space with new models such as the Visiv Adrenaline concept car and an updated Impreza. So yes, the FUCKS edition of the
that would
Subaru.
Be awesome, dude. You think of the extra models out of
Right?
The FUCKSU, the FUCKS off.
Right. That is genius there, yes. I just want to have one and have a Tesla pull up next to me and be like, this is my sweet fox. Yeah.
We had to hit the.
Did
you let another one slide?
I had to throw in another one.
Yeah, this is going to be a podcast only version. I don't think I can get all the fucks out of this one at this point.
I'm a nurse. That's like our main language.
That's true. I'm a maintenance man in hospitals. I know.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, you guys are crazy. It's not what the Egyptians had in mind, but it worked. A group of Michigan high school students made a pyramid out of toilet paper. 27,434 rolls. It took 16 hours for students to assemble the pyramid at Bullock Creek. Of course, that's a good Bullock Creek. Yeah, Bullock Creek High School in Midland County. They're hoping to be recognized by the Guinness Book of World Records and sell the toilet paper as a fundraiser for the 20-member robotics team. There was a lot of excitement when we got to the last few layers, but the final roll at the top was actually pretty anticlimactic. It's toilet paper. What do you expect? Every single roll you place, you want it to be in the correct spot. It was just kind of mind-numbing work. Hearst got the idea 3 years ago after seeing a similar pyramid on YouTube. So, yeah, it's a toilet paper pyramid. That
sounds like a sorority thing.
Yeah,
like a sorority prank thing.
But you can get into the Guinness Book of World Records for anything somebody hasn't done before. Just do it, and you automatically get the record. And,
wow!
And people do that all the time. Yeah,
it's like sell barbecue sauce on Amazon.
Sell barbecue sauce, homemade barbecue sauce on Amazon through a podcast.
Yes.
Okay, well, we are about out of news, and we're about to have to wrap up. But I know I want to give you guys a chance to throw out any of you have social media you want to throw out there. Since there are 4 of you, we'll give you some extra time if you want to throw some social media out there, ways we can follow you guys and follow your progress through the Tim and Brian show and everything you have going on. If you want to go ahead and we'll start with Tim. We'll start with Tim, and then Tim, Brian, then Kayla, then Matt. We'll go that way, and that way everybody isn't talking.
Why does Matt have to be last?
Because he's not high.
Okay.
He's the only one. He's the only one that has the patience and understood everything I just said. He's the only one that by the time it gets to him, he'll remember the list.
Fair. I guess I would just say I want everybody to check this out. It's definitely, you get what you get. It's 4 people. That's the entire cast and crew. I feel like we did an outstanding job. We created our own theme song. We made our own script. We submitted it off to our own film festivals. We used our own cameras. We used everything in-house and worked on it really hard. Please check it out. Brian?
Yes, we definitely worked. We worked so hard on this, and, we had a lot of fun making it. There was a lot of weed smoked on the set. Got very high. And, but the ultimate thing is we had a lot of fun doing this. And I can't wait to showcase this to the entire world on January 14th on Roku TV and Fire TV. But my social media handles are on Facebook, it's official Brian Koo. And also our official Tim and Brian Show page on Facebook is just the Tim and Brian Show. And we also have a YouTube channel, which is also the Tim and Brian Show. if you need to send us an email, send it to the official timbryan@gmail.com.
All right. Kayla?
January 14th is going to be super fun. Just to let everybody know, go check out our Facebook page and YouTube videos and stuff, because as much as it's about the show, it's about interaction and kind of, building a base and getting feedback and just interacting with a community as well. It's not like we didn't make the show so that, you know what I mean? We don't meet people. We want to meet new people and have fun with everybody. So check out our stuff and come let us know what you think.
All
All right, and then just one more reminder. It is on Resilient Media Group on their channel on Roku and Fire devices. So it's like Netflix or Amazon Prime. Just got to search for Resilient. Download the app, and it'll be on there January 14th. And then, keep watching for more content. The next 2 episodes are in pre-production right now, and we're hoping to release those a little bit more quickly than this one. So follow us on Facebook for all the new content. Episodes will keep going on to Resilient Media Group, but then we'll have trailers and bloopers and more of the music that we create will be on Facebook and YouTube.
All right, awesome. Well, thanks for calling in, you guys. Thanks somebody else for setting up the conference call, because I probably would have screwed that up.
Thanks, Brian. Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Brian.
Yep.
No problem.
I appreciate you guys calling in. Good luck with the Tim and Brian show. I'll be sure to try to check it out January 14th, and when this comes out, it won't be that soon, I don't think. Actually, I might be able to drop this episode. I'm not sure. I'll have to look. I'll have to look at when I can drop this episode. I don't know if I can get it out quick enough to be out before the premiere. But definitely go out and check it out.
Thank you very much for having us. This was fun.
Absolutely.
Thank you so very much.
You guys take care.
Yep.
You too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Yep, thank you. Bye. All right. Well, thanks for listening to the Life Radio Show. We're going to go ahead and sign off. Susie, thanks for coming in and guest co-hosting with me for your first time. You did fine. You did a fantastic job. You backed away from the mic, but don't be scared of the mic. The mic is our friend. It's okay. Thanks for listening to the Life Radio Show. That's all. We're done. Have a good night.
Thanks for listening to the Life Radio Show podcast. Check it out wherever you listen to podcasts. Remember, if you want to listen live, we are on Tuesdays from 7 to 9 p.m. on WWSU 106.9 FM. You can also stream the show live at WWSU1069.org, and we go Facebook Live at the Life Radio Show's Facebook page. If you have suggestions or comments, feel free to email thelife1069@gmail.com.
Presence overwhelms me. The brutal presence overwhelms me.
Say something.
Say something.
Perfect.
I know.